Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
And this is Aimee Beck, and we're so excited to have you today because...
Happy to be here.
Aimee is going to tell us all the things we need to do before we die. And nobody cares about your stuff.
Not like you do.
Tell us all about it. What do we need to do?
Well, I don't know where you want to start at, but in 2025, we lost my dad very unexpectedly, and we had to probate everything. And that's a big word if you've never heard it or dealt with it or anything like that. And he had told me when he retired the year before that there was a folder in his desk with my name on it with everything I would need. I've yet to find
The folder.
that folder.
Ooh.
So then you have to figure everything out. And I mean, it's running ads in the paper and this and that. It's just a long process, which I have to brag on the White County courthouse because they're small town like us. They're bigger than us, but they're small town. And every bit of it felt like it was a friend helping me go through
so
it.
nice.
So with a court system, it took the scary out of it. So they were awesome. It was a long process, but they were awesome. And then most people that know me know my mom just passed away in May. But while that was going on with my dad, my mom ended up having to go into a nursing home. So that left me 2 houses full of stuff to do something with because she was in an apartment. We had to clean it out. And then, his house had to be sold. And all 3 of my kids left home last year. So all 3 of their bedrooms had been gone through and picked over. And so we just had stacks. Mama's stack, daddy's stack, kids' stacks. Ken and I were kind of lost in between all of the stuff. And then, like I said, he was cutting grass one day and came in and I was throwing pictures away. And he was like, "You can't do that." And I said, "I gave them these pictures. So I have 3 of the same pictures." So, it's just things you don't think about, especially when things are sudden. I mean, my brother died in a car wreck when he was 22. He only had a room to clean out. He was in the military. But there was still, when we cleaned out my dad's house, one entire closet was all of my brother's stuff, still packed up with duct tape around it and his name on it. And he's been dead 23 years. Just what do you do? I mean, I know when it's your child's stuff, you don't want to get rid of his saxophone from high school. But what do you do with it? So you guys need to start planning from the moment you have kids.
Yes.
I know that sounds early and you're not thinking about death, but my brother had a 5-month-old son when he died.
Oh.
So where are the plans for that 5-month-old when you pass at 22 and you're not planning to pass at 22? So there's a thing that a friend of mine, Selena, had introduced me to. It's called a knock box, N-O-K, and you can get them on Amazon or you can go straight to that website, the knock box. But it is a fireproof box and it's filled with folders and instructions. So there's cheaper versions. This one's about $180, but to put everything in perspective for your family, it's worth it.
Yes.
For that peace of mind for you to know that they're not going to have to deal with all that. But there are cheaper versions. They just don't come with the instructions. It still comes with folders, but you have to label them and figure out your stuff. So I liked that this one came with instructions. So the 2 older couples, my kids, they're getting those for Christmas. Because if you own anything, if you own property, a car, anything, you need to have some kind of file about it and instructions of what to do with that if you're no longer. I mean, I had to sell 3 cars of my dad's. And that's transferring titles. And so then that came along with the probate, getting your power of attorney and your executorship. And because you can't just sign things.
Right.
They're not in your name.
No, it takes a minute for all that to go through, even if your affairs are in order.
Yes, it still is a process, but it's a much easier process if you have them in order. And so a lot of people don't realize that with life insurance, you do have beneficiary. But on your checking and savings accounts or your IRAs, your anything that holds money, you should have a beneficiary on. And a lot of people just don't realize you can do that at the bank because they're like, I don't want somebody on my account. It doesn't mean they can use it. It's not a joint usership. It's just a beneficiary because otherwise you got to wait for that probate and for the bank or the court to give you permission and have paperwork to close out those accounts. So a beneficiary can only close an account and take the money out. They can't still do business on that account like in your name or whatever. A joint So if Ken were to pass away in our joint checking account, I could just have him removed with the death certificate, and I could keep using that bank account, put money in, take money out, do whatever. But a beneficiary can only close it out and
Right.
put it in there, so nothing can be done in your name. But people just don't realize you need to do that, to
They
put those
don't.
on your
No.
checking and savings. So it's just a lot of unknown things.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that you can choose the funeral home that you want, and you can go and sit down with the director and plan your funeral. Then your kid doesn't have to do that. All they got to do is pick a few songs and who do they want to speak, preacher, whatever. But you can even say if you want a certain preacher or whatever, and leave all their contact info, and then the funeral home knows exactly what to do. And I made a video on Facebook, and I said, pay for it. You might not like your kids that much, but if you do, pay for it so they don't have to pay for it. You can make payments on it, or you can
Because some kids may not have the money to bury their.
because people
Right.
also don't realize
Parent.
funerals are between $12,000 and $20,000 right now, depending on how elaborate you get. We had my parents cremated, and just in the little black plastic box, not a fancy urn or anything, that's all separate, was $3,000. So there's an expense to all of it. So if you really like your kids, plan your funeral and pay for it.
Because it's expensive to
It is
die.
expensive.
It is.
It's going to cost a lot of money
It
to
is.
die.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, your churches, if you're a member at a church, you used to have a plot.
Right.
But now there's a lot of the churches don't have the land to do that, or are full, or, a lot of them are virtual churches and they just don't have the property. So where do you want to be buried? Your kids got to figure out all of that if you don't go plan it ahead of time
It's a lot.
for them. It's a lot. And then the biggest point about all of it is you have to tell your people. You can't go plan it, and you can't fill up this box and then hide it and not tell them where it's at.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to start all over somewhere else, not knowing you've already paid for it over here, or not knowing
Right.
they're going to go probate it, and you might have a will in that box. And a will and beneficiaries trump everything. You don't have to probate anything if there's a will and beneficiaries. If there's nothing to fight over, there's no reason for the court to be involved. So a will trumps everything, and beneficiaries, you can't fight those.
So did you did the knock box?
I've got them on order, yes. And like I said, I've 2 of them are going up for Christmas. And so I'm working on mine because my brother, when he passed away 23 years ago, my brother-in-law had passed away 11 months before that. So we actually have 3 nephews that grew up without their dads.
Oh.
But my brother was in the military and had some life insurance and stuff, but still, he didn't have instructions for that child. The
Yeah.
military played a big
At
part
22, you don't
in
think,
it.
you know,
Exactly.
you're-
Exactly. So there's still a lot of things that I figured out long ago, because like my parents were devastated. So then that was the first funeral I had to plan. And then years later, they both had opinions about it.
Oh no.
And I was like,
I did the
well,
best
I
I
was
could.
kind of devastated too. I know it wasn't my child, but it was my brother, and I was really close to him. And I did the best I could do. And the military helped with a lot of it. So the military's really good, which you're their property. They had him for a week before they released him. A lot of people don't realize that either. Like
I
Mama
had
wanted
no
him
idea.
now, and it took a week to get him. He was out of state, so it took a week to get him back. But we've been saying for 23 years that we have to do a will, and we could never agree who we wanted to leave our kids to. Who do we want to?
Yeah, to raise
Which
your children.
one? So I've prayed and said, Lord, get the baby to 18, and then I'm ready to go home.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
what
get the
I've
baby
done
to
that too.
18, and Logan's 19. So we made it there, but now I just need to make it. And my kids are great. Like,
Yes.
they're not going to fight over things. They say they're not going to fight over things, and nobody does care about except
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
That changes a lot of families. If there's
Yeah.
money, or if there's something of value, you really need to specify that out, or that it needs to be sold or whatever and divided out.
So that there's
Whatever.
no problem.
Yes. And if your kids are under age and you have them as your beneficiaries, you really need to go set up a trust and put it in there, which I have a lawyer friend that's going to help me with my will next week when she gets back from vacation. And she said trusts are not her favorite thing.
Oh.
They're
There
very
you go.
hard to deal with. So I'm
Right.
going to get more information on that.
Oh, okay.
And I will let you guys know what I find out. Because I've never set
Well,
up
your
a trust.
kids aren't minor anymore.
No, that's what I
So,
say. I
yeah.
prayed that they would make it to 18, and they did.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do that. anymore, but some people still might
Right.
need to know
And if
how
you,
that works.
when someone dies, that's not the time to have to deal with it because you're so overwrought with emotion
Yes.
and fear and guilt and
Yes.
all the gamut of emotions. So
Yes.
that's not the time to have to figure it out.
Because that's what I say. My parents were so devastated that everything I would ask them, do you want this? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And then 6 months later, they were like, why did we do this? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? So then I felt bad because I didn't feel like I did what they wanted, you know. But I didn't know. It was the first time I'd had to do it too. So it's a lot to put on somebody.
It is.
So if you're going to leave stuff to your kids to have to deal with, or anybody, whoever you plan on leaving stuff to, just make sure they have clear instructions. They know where everything's at. Because I also said these companies are not going to hunt you up and say, oh, we owe you life insurance money.
Oh, no.
Oh,
You
no.
got to know to call them.
Yes.
So if your kids or your family or whatever doesn't know you have that,
They're not going to call
they're
you.
going to keep that money and be happy about it. So
And hope that all the
yes,
heirs
these
die.
companies, I mean, they want to make sure your families are taken, but they don't know, they don't get notified by anybody
Right.
when you die.
Right.
So somebody has to notify them. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to surprise my kids and I have $1 million.
You better
They'll
tell
never
them.
get it if you don't tell them where it's at and that how to claim it.
Yeah.
So, like, my mom had life insurance with State Farm because I worked for State Farm and I did it years and years and years ago. And so it was just literally, I had to take a copy of the death certificate, sign the paper as the executor or the beneficiary. I was the beneficiary on hers. And literally within 48 hours, it was deposited into my account. I didn't have to wait on a check. I didn't have to do anything. They just put it in my account. So it's super easy nowadays, but they have to know about it
Yeah.
because nobody's going to come look for you.
Right.
And so this knock box, is it like a metal box or is
It's
it?
a fireproof
Okay.
box. And it's not very big. They show a picture of it just sitting on a shelf. But yes, if something were to happen, it's a fireproof box. So your kids just need to know where that's at. Right now, I have a little wooden box that I've had for the whole 30 years we've been married that has everything in it. And my kids know, I'm going to run downstairs and get my birth certificate if they need something. And I'm like, but that thing better come back to me, you know, or whatever. But it's wooden. So if the house catches on fire,
What are you going to do?
so we're going to transfer everything over into this fireproof box, and we'll just keep it in the same place. They know where it's at, and if they need a title to their car or whatever, which now that they're grown, we've started, you know, we
Yeah,
bought their first
divvying it up.
cars, but now we changed the title over. Now you get to buy the tag, and you get to pay for the insurance with boys.
Welcome to the real
Yes.
world.
Adulting is not fun.
No. And then that's another thing I talked about on my little video that I made was just insurance in general, that people don't understand their policies.
Yes.
You buy insurance because the law says you have to, but you wouldn't go to Walmart and pick out something for dinner blindly and then just go home and throw it in a pot and eat it. You want to know what
Yes.
you're buying. So why would you not know what you're buying when you're buying something legal like that? And most people just carry the state's minimum liability limits. And so that the minimum on your auto insurance is $25,000 per person to a total limit of $50,000 for any bodily injury. If you hit Kim and you injure 5 people in her car, it's going to pay up to $50,000 for injuries, and then they're going to sue
the
you.
ambulance.
Exactly. So that they're going to end up suing you for the rest of it. So if you own anything,
They're going to get it.
yes. And then that third number, that third 25 is property damage. So if you hit a $100,000 truck,
Which
'cause
is
we're
any
looking
truck.
at new trucks right
Yeah.
now, and they're $113,000,
Which blows my
they're going
mind.
to pay. Yes, it blows ours too. That's why we haven't bought one yet. But we're looking at them, Matt, I promise. We're working with that. But yeah, that's going to wipe out. That $25,000 is going to be wiped out with one car. Much less how many on the interstate hit one, knock it into another, knock it
Yes.
into another, or knock it into a building or something else, and they're going to sue you. So I went recently. I've always had 100, 350 on mine, but most cars on the road now are more than 50,000.
Right.
So we just upped ours to 100,000, and on my one car alone, it was $4 extra every 6 months. But look at the long run. Somebody's going to sue
Right.
you and get a lot
Yes.
more than that.
Right.
So I am a huge believer in insurance. I started doing insurance my senior year of high school in work-based learning, and I believe in every bit of it if it's done right, except health insurance.
Yeah.
And I believe in health insurance, but now it's become,
Useless.
well, it's become a money market,
Yes.
like pharmaceuticals, rather than for the betterment of people. That there's too many hands in it, I think.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, insurance it's a business. They're making money too, or people wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, but an aspirin in the hospital shouldn't be $28.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yes. So I believe 100% in insurance. And I loved that part of the job where nobody likes to be forced into anything. And so it's a law. You have to have car insurance. But everybody comes in with a chip on their shoulder. Because, I got to do this, to buy this car. And, oh, my gosh, blah, blah, blah. But by the time they would leave, my goal was for them to have a smile on their face. If you got to do it, let's make it the best experience. And lay out their options and tell them what they're buying. And then when it's their choice and not just what I wanted to put on there because the law said I had to, they feel better about it. They got to choose this, and this. Because a lot of people just don't understand.
Well, once you explain it, most people don't get the minimum, do they? Even after I started to say,
I've got 4 right now that I've got to review since my video that I made. I've had several send me pictures of their policies. No, I had 3 job offers last year to come back because all my kids are grown now. I've been out for 20 years, but I was looking at a cancer diagnosis, and so I said no. And then after I made this video, it was the week that I just got cleared to go back to once a year with all my scans and everything. And so one of those reached back out, and then I had another one reach out and say, if you're ready to come back. And I was like, y'all, I can sell insurance in my sleep. It's the computer that I don't want to learn how to run because they're all different now. And now when you go in, they've got 2 and 3 monitors in front of them. And I'm like, I don't want to learn the technology, but I might go back. But I've had several people send me their policies and say, when you have a minute, can you go over this and tell me what I need to change? Because I can almost promise you, if you guys pull your auto policies out, you don't have med pay on your autos either. Because most agents won't just automatically put it on there. But that's same accident. You hit Kim and you've injured Kim and 4 other people in her car. So you're already going to get sued because you don't have enough to cover them. If you are hurt, MedPay covers you if it's your fault. And most people are like, but I have health insurance. But how many people nowadays don't have health insurance? But the reason I would always encourage people to get it is because even if you do, you've got a deductible or a copay or your part. So if you've at least got $5,000 over there, you're not going to come out of pocket for anything then. It'll cover your deductibles, your copays, things like that. But if you don't have health insurance,
what does that usually run, the MedPay?
Not very much. I should have brought a copy of mine and showed it to you guys. But your most expensive pieces of your auto policy is your liability and your collision if you cover your car. So if you owe on it, the bank's going to make you have full coverage. And I hate that term, full coverage and just liability. Because then you're leaving it wide open to your agent to do whatever they want. The liability are those 3 numbers we just talked about. Pick the ones you want. Don't just take what they offer you, but pick the ones you want. And then MedPay, most people don't even ask about it. You got to know about it.
I don't think most people know about it.
That's what I say. They don't even think about MedPay. Yeah. And then your comp and collision are the 2 parts that make up full coverage. Collision's anything you collide with. If you hit it, and it's your fault and you want your car fixed, it's going to go under collision and you have a deductible. Comprehensive is fire, theft, vandalism, glass breakage, and wild animals. So if you hit a deer around here or a dog or your windshield's broken, that's under comp, and that's cheap. But people don't realize you can have comp without your collision. They just think it's either liability or full coverage. So when they pay their car off, they call and say, I want to drop my full coverage. Which, number one, if that's your only car, you better not drop your full coverage because you're going to want it fixed if something happens to it because you don't have another way to go. But if you want to drop some off, you can drop the collision off and still have coverage for windshields and deer, wild animal around here. How many bear have we seen?
Yes,
that's been hit in Banks County.
Yeah.
And those the animals do a lot of damage, just as much as hitting another car. They can total a car really fast. So you can keep that, and it's cheap. I even recommend people have no deductible on that because it's not very expensive. And that way, when you have a $300 windshield, but you got a $500 deductible, it's not going to do anything.
And with the new cars, windshields are expensive.
They are very expensive. Especially now the windshields have technology in them.
Right.
They're heated, or they've got these GPSs or things in them. So, when I had my Jeep, it's special glass, and it has a little Jeep etched somewhere in it. So when I had it replaced, I was like, no, I don't want that. Just put it regular.
Yeah.
I don't even know where the etched Jeep is, so I don't need that. But yeah, they have special glass in them. So just things people don't know about. And then like on their homeowners, they don't realize that your certain things are only covered for a small amount. So women have lots of jewelry. Their wedding rings usually cost more than $2,500, but your homeowners is only going to cover firearms, jewelry, any kind of monies, and all that. Usually the limit's like $2,500, and it's only for fire and theft.
Oh.
But there are these little policies called personal articles floaters, and they are dirt cheap. We have so many things on ours. You can put cameras, you can put anything expensive, watches, anything on there. And if it's over a certain amount, you have to have an appraisal. But I lost my wedding ring. Well, I didn't lose it. It got stolen out of my car. But mysterious disappearance. It's an all-peril policy. So it covers it for anything. Even
they
if you just lose
expensive?
it. No, those are cheap.
Well, how do you do it? You just take a picture of the item?
Yeah. You call your agent and say, I have these items. Which, do I need appraisals for any of them or not? Because, like, if it's a $10,000 ring, they're going to want an appraisal to go on that floater policy. But if it's a $500 piece, they may not. But you still might want it covered. If you lose it, it might be your, grandma's ring or something. I don't know.
Well, you just make a list, or you should
make
take
a list,
pictures, or
and then those are named peril they cover all perils, anything that happens. But you specifically name the pieces, whereas your homeowners is just going to give you up to that limit. Whatever yours is, it's usually $2,500. But nowadays, I've been out 20 years. Those limits can be different. But and it's only for fire and theft. If you lose it, you're not going to get anything. Because your homeowners is very limited.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
And people, like in Georgia, most people are not in a floodplain, so you don't need any of that. There's just things that people don't think about, that are limited on their homeowners. It's not just, oh my gosh, if this happens, it's covered. No, you better check, because your homeowners is not an all peril policy. It's not going to cover everything.
My daughter, who lives outside of Asheville, when the hurricane came through 2 years ago, they're not anywhere close to water or having to have flood insurance. They had so much damage, and their homeowners gave them about $270 for food, and FEMA came in and gave them about the same amount, and they have tens of thousands, probably close to $100,000 worth of damage to their house.
And that was just
they're
a fluke. I
responsible
mean, they're
for.
not in a normal hurricane
area
either,
yeah.
but that was just a fluke.
Yeah, but so many people there. We're in the same.
And then, like states like Florida or somewhere like that, after they have a big hurricane, they'll go through a freeze where they can't write homeowners for a year or two.
Yep.
Like, so if you move to Florida, you're out of luck. You're going to be uninsured. So if you
Oh.
need it to buy that house or whatever, or it's going to cost you outrageous to get it. But when they have a big hurricane and they lose a lot of money like that, they'll go through a freeze where they cannot write new business for so long because they got to build their reserves back up.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It is a business, but they lose a lot of money too. I mean, you got to, and your interest probably wouldn't be so high if there wasn't so much fraud. I'm just going to tell you how it is and how I feel about it since I'm an insurance lady. But I mean, when your kid turns 16, how many people do you think call and say, hey, I got a 16-year-old driving in my household?
Nobody.
Nobody. How many of those 16-year-olds wreck a car?
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
And they're not collecting a premium for that high-risk driver.
So what
Now,
happens?
when they wreck that car,
Right.
they will put them on automatically. The insurance company will make you. If they are the listed driver in an accident and you don't have them on, they will be on from now on because now there's an accident on file. So they're going to make you put them on there. And then if they have so many, now this was 20 years ago, again, call your people and ask. If they have so many, they used to be able to, you could exclude a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're going to cancel the household because you've had 5 wrecks in 6 months with this 16-year-old, rather than canceling your whole household, they would say we're going to exclude your child, and you would have to sign and agree to do that, and then take your child to a high-risk insurance company for that. So I'm assuming
that would be
that's still how it is.
expensive.
Yes.
But you can exclude most of your top-notch insurance companies. You cannot exclude your spouse. So if your spouse gets 5 DUIs, you're both going to the high risk.
Yeah.
Because you
Wow.
can't exclude
Yeah.
your spouse.
Yeah.
They know that spouse is in the household and they're going to get in. And
If
your
your spouse
kid's going to
gets-
leave at some point.
Spouse gets 5 DUIs, you need a divorce.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Probably.
I agree with that. Yes. So there's lots and lots of pieces to your insurance that you just may not understand. And then another big one that people don't understand with life insurance is the type of policy you buy.
Yes.
So
Tell us
like,
Tell us about that.
So like we have universal lives, and back then, I mean, it was almost 30 years ago when Ken wrote policies on us. But that was the big thing that my agent wanted us to do, and I don't know if they were fairly new then. They were new to me because I was only 18, 19 years old. But it's a very flexible life insurance policy. It's not just going to cancel if you miss one payment, things like that. It's very flexible. You can put more money into it. You can make your payments lower if you need to, if you're in a hard, economic time, whatever. You can borrow against them. I don't recommend that. My mom had a loan against hers and never made a payment on it, and the interest is high.
Oh.
So she borrowed $3,500 back in like 2013, and when she passed away, it was up to $12,000. So they take that off. They take your loan off before they pay out anything. So I don't recommend it. But if you're in a tight pinch and you need to borrow something, your kid or whoever you can borrow against it. Just pay it back as soon as you can, because you're going to rack up some interest. But those are very flexible. But when these agents sell them, they sell them with a minimum premium. This is what $50,000 is going to cost you, for example, $35 a month. I'm just throwing a number out there. If you only pay that $35 a month, you're going to find yourself in your late 70s or 80s where you didn't pay enough to cover the cost of the insurance. So at some point, it started eating up its own benefits.
Oh.
So it's only going to get you to about 80. My father-in-law just brought this to my attention that he had one. I didn't even know he had one. And it's going to run out at 83. Well, he turns 80 in October. And he's like, I think I'm going to live another 3 years. What am I going to do? So we had to call. And now that he's 80, it's so expensive. Yeah. He needed to add another $160 a month to get him to 100. So he added another 100. So now he's paying $229 a month for that $50,000 that he's been paying $129 because he was in his 50s when he bought it, 50s or 60s, just to get him to 90. They can run an illustration that'll tell you what your premium, what you need to pay to get you to a certain age. So if you do a universal life, you need to do that. You need to understand it, understand that it's flexible. And if you just pay that minimum payment, it may not get you to 100. Oof. It may only get you into your 70s or your 80s. But you can ask them, what would the premium be to get me to 90 or 100? And that's what you need to pay. A whole life is going to be a set premium, and it's going to pay up in so many years. You don't have to pay anymore. It earns cash value. You can still borrow against it. I don't recommend it. Or you can cash it in. And then that's done. It's not flexible. If you miss payment, it's going to cancel. Done. It's not flexible. Yeah. And then term is renting. It's like renting a house. You're paying for it, but if you miss a payment, it's gone. Or say if it's a 10-year term for $50,000, at the end of 10 years, they're going to send you a letter and say, now your premium's going to be this much because you're 10 years older, and you can either continue paying it for another 10 years or you let it go. It just depends. So it's not going to build cash value. It's not going to it's not going to ever pay up.
I always wondered, what is even the benefit of term insurance?
I like term insurance because I like to stack. So when we were 22 and 24 getting married, I had $50,000 permanent on us, which was the universal life. And then 5 years later when we bought a house, I put another $300,000 term on us because that's what our mortgage was. Gotcha. When your mortgage is paid off, let that go. But you still have the $50,000 to bury you or, pay off some bills, whatever. When we had 3 more kids, we added more because now I got to get 3 kids through college and pay off a house and cars and eat and all that. So over the years, we've had different term policies for different amounts. And then when you reach those life milestones and your last kid's out of college, let one of those go. You can save that money now, put that in your IRA, but let that go because you don't need, if Ken were to die right now, I wouldn't need $1 million. Oh, we can all go party on $1 million, but I don't need it to survive. Yeah. I don't have kids to put through college or to feed, and my house is almost paid for. So, your needs change. So I do like, and I also like term if somebody just did not buy any, and now you're 60 years old and you want to leave your kids something to bury you with, it's expensive. So term is cheaper because you're renting it. It's not locked in, it's not going to pay up, and it's not going to earn cash value. So term is cheaper. It's still going to be high in your older age. But a lot of people just won't listen and buy it in their 20s. And people will not put life insurance on their kids. And I cannot tell you how many people say, but I don't want to think about my kid dying. Neither do I. But I put it on all. Your babies have to be 10 days old to put it on them. So when they turned 10 days old, all 3 of my babies had $50,000 put on them with a guaranteed insurability option rider that at a certain point they could add another $50,000 with no medical. No medical questions. Now it adds to the premium, but no medical questions. But it locked their premium in as a 10-day-old baby, not a 50-year-old man.
Right.
So when they got married or turned 21, and I could say, "Here's your policy," it's $25 a month. They're never going to have to pay that $200 a month because we locked it in, and it's been growing cash value their whole life. You know,
Smart.
so there's some cash value to it. And then if they want to add some term here and there or add more to it, they can. But they've got that policy because if your kid at 10 years old gets diagnosed with leukemia, they're never going to get life insurance either. Or they got to go so many
Right.
years
Yes.
cancer-free to be able to get life insurance. So if you put it on when they're 10 days old and healthy, it doesn't matter what comes up.
Right.
They've got it.
And you never think about that.
You don't think about that.
Wow.
And you don't want to think about your child dying. But you also, when your child dies, you'll be like my parents and you'll want the best. Even though that pretty casket's going in the ground, you know your baby's in that pretty casket. And those are expensive. They're expensive. So nobody wants to think about that side of it, but it's reality. If your baby dies, you're going to want to put them in a pretty box. And it takes money to do that.
Okay, I'm really down now.
I know. Let's talk about something else. Nobody likes to talk about that, but it is a reality.
it's something
it is a
everybody
reality,
needs to
and it's the
do.
not fun stuff that people don't want to think about that are important, big stuff.
Yeah.
The not fun stuff adds up to big dollars.
Okay, so what we need to do is get the knot box, review our insurance. What else?
That intimidates people is that they know they need to call and ask questions, but they don't know what questions to ask. So if you are unsure, you can call me and I'll say, okay, your liability limits look good. Or call and ask how much it'll be for this. Because they can play with a quote and tell you before you change it. And you can decide if you want to add that much every 6 months or not. And then Bryson flipped out because he was like, oh my gosh, this is what my homeowners cost me every 6 months? No, baby, your homeowners is for a year. Your cars are for every 6 months. So he was like, I can't afford all this. You know, when your kids are first learning all
Wait
of
till he
this.
gets a tax bill.
Yeah. So, your auto
He
policies.
just bought another house.
Yes, he has two.
Awesome. Good.
So if anybody's looking for a house for sale, we have a really cute one in Royston that we
Oh,
need to sell ASAP. And it's a perfect place for a rental because it's 5 minutes from Emmanuel College.
nice.
So we can put 3 college kids in it
oh,
right now. But he needs the money to fix up the new house.
gotcha.
So he don't want to put renters
Gotcha.
in it. But yeah, we tore it down to the studs and redid it all, so it's all brand
Yeah,
new.
it
The
was
plumbing's new,
done
the
right.
wiring's new, spray and insulation. His power bill hasn't been over $100 yet.
Nice.
The whole house has got spray and insulation, and it's really cute. So, but it's in Royston.
That's okay.
A lot of people starting out, you have to get further out
Yeah.
to be able to afford it. Jackson County's too expensive right now
is.
because everybody's flooded Jackson County. So, and it took him. It's a 40-minute ride up 85
It's not
to get
bad.
to our house. It
It's
just
not
depends
bad.
on where you work. It's not a bad drive. But these kids don't know all these things, and school doesn't teach you the everydays anymore.
They don't.
You know, they don't have a class that teach you.
I don't know.
My kids didn't even know
You're
how to
probably too
sign when they went to get their driver's license. They were like, "What does it mean, print and sign?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Well, when I was coming up, and you too probably, we had home ec where they taught you how to
yeah.
write checks. They did sort of talk about household needs, not really insurance. I
budget.
don't remember that, but
A budget.
budgeting.
Right.
Because kids don't know how to budget.
No, no.
Most adults don't know how to budget.
Right.
And even if they were taught it in school, you got to be disciplined
Right.
to follow a budget.
Right.
I like a budget, and I will tell you the number one thing. If I ever help you do a budget, your top number one is going to be your tithes. Don't cut God out because you want God to have your back. And then life insurance and insurance, and then all your house stuff. Because if you don't have your insurance in place and you lose something with your house, you're not going to have anything to manage.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to pay.
You're not going to have anything left.
You're going to
Right.
have nothing.
I mean,
you're
yeah.
going to be.
If I have a wreck, you're not having left.
Right.
You're going to be.
Okay, I've got to go pull on my
Yeah, you
policies.
need to call
Amy.
Yeah.
I know.
Find
okay,
out what
Amy,
to
I'm going to be
ask.
calling you tomorrow.
Yes. So, and there's a lot
Because
of things
you
that
have
go
a lot
along
of
with them,
things.
You have a lot
insured
of things.
Yeah, everybody does.
And you need, if either Sean or somebody to be your executor, and you need to have it all in that box.
Okay, I'm getting a knot box. I'm doing all this stuff. Okay.
And figure out who you want to be in charge of everything. and tell them what you do.
Okay. All right. Okay.
If it's Sean, make sure you tell him. Or Mr.
Probably.
Lee, tell them where your box is and where everything is.
Yeah.
And then make sure their names are on the stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because
Right.
if not, it doesn't matter if they have the paperwork if they're not the beneficiary or in the will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to have paperwork.
You have paperwork.
Whoever's your executor needs to be.
Because if not, then you have to probate it and
Yes.
have the court name you
Right.
to be able to do all that. And it's going to take you a
Long
lot
time.
longer to do that.
Do you know that probate in the state of Washington can take up to 10 years?
What?
And guess what? My dad's house wasn't paid for. So while all that was going on,
You were
you have
making
to make the
payments.
house payment. And if you
Wow.
want to be able to sell that house and people to look at it, you're still paying for the power and the
Yeah.
the things that people don't.
Yeah, think
if
about.
you don't make 3 house payments while you're waiting on probate, they're going to foreclose on your
Right.
house. Like
Right. You're gonna lose it.
So there has to be money for that child to make those payments if something happens until it sells, like, or they're going to lose it. So all the things you've worked
insurance.
for are
Right.
just going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot, but it's when you just sit down and make your list and start checking it off, it's not that much, it's not that complicated, but it will give you so much peace of mind.
Yeah.
And it'll give your family so much peace of mind. Because in that moment, like you say, you just want to cry and grieve and process what's happened. And I really didn't get to do that with my dad. I really did not get to process it because I had so many pieces to process. And so then it, I had to go through it later, and then that's hard. So, yeah, you want to be able to just be in the moment with your family and say everything's taken care of, and I'll look at that tomorrow.
You are a wealth of information.
Yeah. And
I've just been through it.
you,
So-
you now you
You
have
have
been through it.
I've
You've been through it.
This last 18 months was tough.
Let's hope you've got some good years coming.
I know. I'm ready for that, but I'm also thankful for the training that I had in insurance to know at least where to start, even if I didn't know how to get through the whole probate thing. I
Right.
knew I had to do it, and I have to go here, and I have to go. So I'm thankful for that, and I had some really good people that I worked with along the way that are responsible for me being able to tell y'all
Wow.
all this.
Amazing.
So some amazing agents out there. So don't look at your insurance agent as the bad guy. Look at them as a tool to help you navigate what the law says you have to have.
All right.
I would
so-
love for you to be my agent.
I know. Go back to work.
Well, I've got 5 places I could go back to. Let me think which one I want to go
Well,
back
if you do,
to.
call me. I'll move all my stuff to you.
My other problem is I've gotten lazy. I don't want to work
You have
Monday
not.
through
There is-
Friday, 8 to 5.
There's not a lazy bone in your body. I don't know who you're kidding
Telling you, I
there.
could be a hermit right now, but I don't like that either. So I'll just keep talking to y'all.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you coming in and sharing this because it's information that
lot.
everybody needs.
So important.
Yeah.
Yes, so important.
And it's things that they don't want to think about. So if you'll just put the time into it now, then you can forget about it. With peace. You can forget about it with peace that
Yes.
you're not missing something.
Yeah.
So just get it out, get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off and do it and get it over with.
All right, so y'all heard it right here. Rip off that Band-Aid. Check your insurance policies. And most importantly, don't forget to tithe, right?
Yes, Todd. You don't want God on your bad side. You want God on your good side.
All right. Well, y'all, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, Famous in a Small Town. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
I'm Amy.
We thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
see y'all
I
next
appreciate it.
time. Bye.
Bye.